Welcome back, everybody. Part 2 of the Wave series. If you haven't seen Part 1, go ahead and check the description below. I left the link in there for you. We're just going to start with a little review. If you guys remember the 5-3 wave structure we covered. For this to be, the actual 5 impulse wave structure that we're looking for, remember that as wave 1 completes, we have this retrace of wave 2. And it can never retrace more than 100% of wave 1. If it does, then we don't have the true impulse wave that we're looking for. So we say that we do get that. Now, wave 3 cannot be the shortest. So if we have wave 3 over here, and then a wave 4 over here, this isn't the 5-3 impulse wave we're looking for. We want wave 3 to be the longest and the strongest, as they say. And then wave 4, wave 4, the same as wave 2, can never retrace 100% or more of wave 3. So wherever that may be, like I said, it can bounce in anywhere between here. And then wave 5, it can get stopped out here. It can go further, blah, blah, blah. So what we're going to cover in this video is actually extensions within this 5 wave structure that we already covered. So what I mean by that is if I take this little guy over here, Elliot found that there's extensions that happen in the first wave, which makes sense, our third wave, which makes sense, and our fifth wave, which makes sense. So let's look at the first wave structure. The first extension. I don't want to make this too hard. It's kind of an easy concept. We just, you just have to be on the lookout for these types of extensions. So if we have a first wave extension, we have a 5-wave structure that makes our first wave, right? Kind of extends it into 9 waves. So our 5 wave becomes 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now that goes for every extension, be it the third or the fifth or the first. So if we go ahead and extend this idea onto a third wave extension, let me get rid of these drawings here. We'll just make this just a little bit bigger, because we still want the Elliott 5 wave within that. And just don't pay attention to the blue 3 line. But this here is another 3-wave extension, and we also have 9 waves inside there, right? So we have 1, 2, and then another 5 here, which is 7, and then 8 and 9. In terms of wave counting, an Elliott wave itself, a 9 count and a 5 count are the same, and that's why he found, or that's where he found like these extensions, that they're just kind of impulses within an impulse, I guess, or they're little subdivisions within that impulse. And the same thing goes, you carry on the 5 count over here to the 5th wave extension. Now, there are also some cases where you'll start counting a 9 wave and you can't really tell, where wave 1 is or wave 3 or which wave is extended, which is okay. It's just the fact that that you have a 9 count. And it's some kind of impulse and an extension that's possibly going on here. So it's just you just want to be able to identify that so that your counting in the later terms or later periods are going to be kind of accurate. So now, building on that idea that we know an extension only happens within the 1, 3, or 5 wavelength, how can we use that to maybe help identify where that extended wave would be? So if we go in, Elliot found out that maybe if the lengths of wave 1 and 3 are, similar, not too crazy where, 3's real huge up here, but similar in length, there we can expect maybe that the 5th wave would be the extension in this case, right? So maybe look like something like that. Now there's another case that says if, maybe wave 3 is that huge, huge impulse up, that waves 1 and 5 are going to be, likely equal in length. So again, that's some guidelines that we can look out for. If we have an extended third, then we can expect maybe our 5th wave. If you guys are going to trade this down at 4 up to 5, can be maybe as long as our 1. So how does that help us? We can just kind of go like this and see where that 5th wave might end to give us an idea. Say, okay, we're going to get in a trade, somewhere around this area, and then just ride it up and check out this area. Be it you put in your stop order up here, your sell order, or you just kind of wait out and see. Maybe the forecast was wrong and this can continue upwards. But again, those are things that we want to look for. If the extension is somewhere else within that wave, it should give you a better idea of what the next kind of wave is going to look like, or maybe where it could potentially reverse at. All right, I had to stop the video to make this one. This was a little difficult for me to draw out, actually. So what we have here is an extension inside an extension, right? So let me get these waves here and explain this a little bit. So this is a third wave extension of the third wave, right? So we have this orange larger degree wave, which is our 5 wave here in this case. And then inside of that is just our whole third wave, the 2 to 3 in the orange is our extension, right? And then we have inside of that another extension. So this is tough to kind of grasp at first, but once you guys start understanding it, pause it and kind of count through it again. An extension inside of an extension. The same thing would go for a 5th wave extension, and it would look slightly similar. So let me go ahead and throw that up for you. So all we have to do with the 5th wave is just kind of move all this stuff over here. And we'll just go ahead and throw that up there. Again, visually, just pretend that this is, accurate, right? So we have a 5th wave extension here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our extension starts inside here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then our 5th wave of the 5th wave is extended. So it'll look like something like that, right? With our 5th wave ending up here. So we have the 5th extension of the 5th wave. Right? Kind of tough to grasp. It's a lot of counting, but this, we do find this, in crypto. We find it in the stock market. We find it in any kind of market. There's some kind of extension. But, don't worry about the extensions within the extensions. The main thing you want to recognize is that only one extension in a 5 wave leg up, or whatever you guys are calling it. And then from there, we can kind of develop an idea of what the next wave would be. So go ahead and make sure you guys grasp that concept for the extensions, and this should help you in general with your other wave counts. And if you guys are maybe counting wrong, you found a 9 wave and you're like, well, I counted wrong. This 9 wave doesn't make sense. Now you do know that the 5 wave and a 9 wave, they are kind of the same thing, and it's indicative that there is some kind of extension within that actual 5 wave. So go ahead and back test that and make sure you guys do grasp it, because it is kind of an important idea to understand within wave analysis itself. All right, the last idea we'll cover in this video is just basically a truncation. What happens there is, we have a Elliott 5 wave going, but the 5th wave is truncated. You might have heard that term before. And basically what that means is just kind of gets stopped out around the 3rd wave. Let's just make that visual here. So we have this, huge wave up for the 3rd wave, makes a nice impulse, and then our truncated 5th would kind of just get stopped out right at that level. So our wave would end up looking like this, and then from there, we have our ABC correction, that goes down. Oh, hit the wrong thing here. ABC, ABC to make our corrective pattern and our overall larger degree 1-2 wave, right? This would be the 2 wave. So that's just, you can also flip that over and the same thing happens in the bear market, right? Our truncated 5th would look something like this. If we have that huge impulse down of wave 3, and then it might get stopped out here. We did have something, we can look at, the most recent Bitcoin. Let's see where we're at here. It's tough to call this a truncated 5th right now. I'm looking at this like little diagonal pattern, but this could be considered some kind of truncated 5th if we give a count here. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It is a little bit higher, but this would be something we can look out for. Is it going to extend like we just covered there, or is this going to be the retrace down and then it's going to try to pump up through the overall structure that we have over here? So that's something to look out for. And the next video, I will cover the basic patterns and structures that we're going to look for. Like this red one here looks like possibly a ending diagonal, which would coincide with our almost truncated 5th end of a 5 wave leg that makes one larger degree. And if you look in the overall picture here, we're at the top of this trend line, if you want to call it that. We're at the top of the cloud meeting some resistance. So it's tough to say what's going to happen here, but those are the ideas that we can expand onto the charts as we look at them, to get a better idea to forecast. Because remember, we're trying to forecast more than trade. But in essence, they kind of work together, because if you're a good forecaster, excuse me, good forecaster, then you're going to be a good trader, right? So you have to get your forecasting down first, I guess, and then you develop your trade idea after that. So go ahead, go back in the charts, start counting again, backtest these ideas, and the next couple videos, we're going to go over all these patterns. So we're just going to use all of these ideas to, build upon each other, and from there, it'll help us identify patterns and identify the larger structures. And you guys will start seeing, that you can start trading A legs, B legs, C legs, whatever kind of pattern we're, developing. As you get better at forecasting, you'll get better at trusting yourself, I guess, and making better trades. So stay tuned for the next couple of videos. They should hopefully be pretty good. And hit the like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.